It's time to turn into a womble. It's time to go and look at the rubbish piles of trash that people throw out that will become other people's treasure. This became a very interesting time to look at the rubbish piles. It was just prior to the massive hailstorm that we had in our suburb, and that's sort of the reason why this is a very delayed upload as well. One big change in the suburb is we have lost our charity shop, and what I notice now is that people are throwing out stuff which is almost too good to be true. If I was smart, I could make more money from people's trash and selling it on versus making trash content on YouTube. And I know which one would be far better for my mental health. But I do like making this style of video. It is my favourite style of video to make, and what I like to say is this is a bit of a indicator to where we're headed in Australia, and I dare say the same applies to many overseas countries as well. Sadly, it seems we are trapped in a cycle of buying cheap goods from China that don't last very long at all. The addiction of this style of consumerism takes money from your country and delivers it directly to China. The mantra of buy cheap, buy twice is becoming the norm for nearly everyone, but there's one item that I find in the rubbish piles that paints a picture of the way it used to be. Are you able to determine the trash from the treasure? I do find some amazing things, and I find multiple Dyson vacuum cleaners. Okay, let's do it. Okay, this might be the perfect way to start the looking at trash, which is treasure on the side of the road. How many times have I seen a cheap vacuum cleaner? This is a Hoover brand one. It has got a dust collection system like that. These filters are something that you keep on buying. That's part of the trap of this style of vacuum cleaner. And for the fact, oh my crikey, that bit there is going AWOL there. Just let me sort that out. I think it goes somewhere up there. Yeah, for the fact you're bound by filters all the time, and I mean the things do lose suction. Oh, no, I can't get it back together. That's why you see these out on the rubbish piles all the time. I actually spoke to the owner of this machine here. You can see that it hasn't done much work, and of course I'm told, well, it was sort of, you know, semi-useless. They actually bought, to replace this one, a vacuum cleaner from Aldi. Yeah, I mean the hose is all soft. It's just cheap rubbish. Guess where it's going to be made? There you go there, no surprise at all, made in China. I have completely lost count how many times I've seen a vacuum cleaner like this out in the rubbish piles, and that is my warning to you. This is the summertime council collection time. It's also the same time of year when the cicadas are making their chirpy noise, and I can see a wondrous pile of rubbish just in front of me. Oh yes, this is a nice mixed bag. It's only just been put out. I saw the people putting this stuff out here. We are going to go in closer and take a look at some of these things. Just tracking along here. Okay, yep, okay, I can see a Thomas & Friends, or part of a Thomas & Friends set right there. Okay, this is from that volcano set. I've done this play set, and it's basically the one-trick pony part of the playset. It had a section here where Thomas would go down into the volcano. I'm just trying to remember the exact name of the playset. I can't see any other track parts, but I can see what is the one-trick pony part of that set. I see this sort of thing going on a little bit too much in my books. I also see there is a lovely wooden railway bridge here. It's got some plasticky parts here. It looks a bit old and rusticy. I don't know what brand that is. It's a nice piece, but I'm not going to keep it. There's a bit of soft toy stuff going on here. There's one of these things here. You remember these things? And I think you do something with them and they do that. And I've still got my tag there and everything. Yeah, and I can also see here, oh look at that there. There's no spiders in there. A nice little wooden railway train. I don't know what brand that one is. Actually, I can see, I'm pretty sure that's more parts of that volcano set there. That's the track riser. I hope I'm right there. It looks like those bits from that playset. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. That was the toys on the ground there. I'll try and keep it as tidy as possible. There is a pram here. There's also a lovely Tonka truck here. And the problem with these sorts of toys, if you've left them outside in the country where I live, you'll often find the signs of spiders and things up underneath the toy. And I'm pretty sure if I look in there nice and carefully, I'm going to start to see what would be a red-backed spider nest. I think at the front wheel there, that is exactly what I'm seeing. Sometimes it's best if you don't look under these toys, but maybe you need to. It's best left if I leave that there. I'll leave the spider-infested Tonka truck there. It does have spiders in it, very scary. And I'm going to look at one more thing on this rubbish pile. Guess what it's going to be? It's down there. Let me just move this little children's Coles shopping cart thing. Rather cute, but it's on the rubbish piles. I'll put it neatly over there somewhere. This vacuum cleaner here, it was purchased at Kmart. I actually just spoke to the owners. They thought, well, it would be like a Dyson because it does look like a Dyson. It's very interesting what people think when they see this sort of shape here. And inside, we might see things that also look very Dyson-ish, but it's actually nothing to do with Dyson. Put it this way, Dyson wouldn't have a big cloggy filter like that in their vacuum cleaners of today. Maybe a long, long time ago, but not today. That there is nothing but fakery, okay? Don't get confused if you see things like that, because that won't do what a Dyson will do, I can guarantee it. All it will do is basically blow your dough. And because this is an evolving rubbish pile as I'm looking at it, and the owners are putting more and more stuff out, like crikeys, look what I've just seen next. This is amazing. First time I've seen a whole drum set here. It's electronic drums. Maybe you know about this sort of stuff. I've never seen one of these out in the rubbish piles. That's actually quite amazing, quite stunning. And if I twist a fake symbol to the side in Keith Moon fashion, maybe you can tell me more about this nice little drum set. There's the brand there. Yeah, it looks rather spiffo. Because this is early in the garbage put out time, that is going to go. People will pick that up and take it. I bet you that Thomas and Friends section of the set will not go. That will be there until the time the rubbish is picked up. I dare say maybe the Tonka truck will go, but my crikeys are going to have spiders in their hands if they take that. And there's a nice bike in there. We're not going to take a look at the bike. There's actually a rocket playset here. I think that was an Aldi thing, I think. Can you see that one there? Yes, it's a real mix of trash and treasure, but I'm sure people will come through and pick up the treasure. Oh, crikeys, this is a find. This is actually very, very nice. It's a whole storage system set. It looks barely used. It's all made of metal. Okay, these things aren't cheap. Well, as far as I know, they're not cheap. It is beautiful. It's all just laying out here, and I'm sure someone will come along and pick that up and, well, reuse it for their glory. Okay, another pile of beautiful rubbish. It's now in the afternoon. It's nice and cool, and this is sort of a fresher sort of pile. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I can see another Trackmaster set. It's the same volcano set. Look at that. And Thomas is in there as well. Man. Oh, man. I'll be walking this one home, I can tell you. There's Thomas down there. Well, that's a great find. But remember, we no longer have our charity shop. That's the sort of thing that would have ended up on the charity shop. And there's a whole bunch of that playset. Oh, actually, there's the other playset. That's the starter set, wasn't it? Which had the water tower. It's upside down, sorry. And all sorts of other stuff in there. Trackmaster 2 track. What was that from? Or is that a Hot Wheels thing? Oh, there's another engine down here. Oh, wow. It's the Stephen Thomas. That's what came with the volcano set. It's actually, look at that, it's blown. I've never seen that before. It's blown off that wheel there. Wow, I've never seen that. I didn't know that part came off. This is a real revelation for me. Now that is quite amazing. Quite amazing. And I'll be taking these back home. I'm going to investigate a bit further into that there. That is just amazing. That's mine, that's a keeper. Okay, another pile of rubbish which has got quite a few little stories to tell, and we'll take a look at this Ryobi vacuum suction thing first. To me, this looks like a bit of an older model. This is a very, very common thing I see out in the rubbish piles. Looks like it's had a bit of a homemade handle put onto this. Let me just see if I can find a badge to ID this one. There's its info there. Does it tell you a date or anything there? My crikeys, it is an old one. It's made in Japan. So just in seeing made in Japan and not made in China, that's saying to me this is a bit of an older model. Maybe there's an expert who knows about these blower suckers that can tell me more about this. And there's also something made in China here. It's a little Azito. These things would be as cheap as chips, and they don't last very long. It's a whippersnipper type thing. Okay, you do wonder why it has died. Obviously out in the rubbish pile. Yes, Chinese junk. That was possibly Japanese goodness. Just on the Azito snipper, I will just see if I can see any info here if I clean this area up here. Is that going to teach us anything about the year date? I tell you what, it does teach us, made in China. Okay, from the bad and the good garden stuff, there is a very, very curious find, and it's very sad when I see something that is brand new and still in box, and it's a toy and it's out in the rubbish pile. It's called a Learn to Dress Ollie. Okay, I don't know anything about this toy apart from the fact it hasn't had any love, and this is the problem when we've lost our charity shop. I think I'm going to see a lot more of this sort of activity going on. And to lift your spirits from that sadness in a box there is actually something quite wonderful here because it's cicada season. Yes, there's a cicada's shell there that the nymph came out of, and that would have turned into a lovely adult cicada. And because I've got cicada eyes, and I know that's very fresh, that shell, I'm pretty sure the cicada is on this telegraph pole, and if I traverse upwards, I bet you I can find it. I know you're not going to believe me, but I will prove to you that I've got cicada eyes. Okay, we're going to zoom in on a section just there. The cicada is right near that bit of wiring there. It's sort of in the shadows there, but believe me, that is the cicada. Okay, I can see some toy glory down on the ground there. Some toy glory. Okay, a nice Tonka, we'll call it scoop bucket thing there. A nice Tonka dump truck there, and there is a cement mixer. I don't think that's Tonka, but we'll have to take a look at it. The cement mixer, it's a Scania truck. It's beautifully detailed, I can tell you. It's just like the real thing. This wouldn't have been a cheap toy in the day. I'm just cracking up the side here. Beautiful, beautiful. It's got the bit where you mix your cement. It's also got this bit here, and you can turn that there and keep on mixing, eh? Yeah, oh yeah. Once you start playing, you can't stop, but the big problem I feel with this toy is going to be when we take a look underneath this, and I bet you we're going to find spiders and things. Wow, it is lovely detail. I don't know what brand this is yet. Let's just have a peek underneath and see what's going on. I can see a brand name there. Is it Bruder? And a date 2009. Yeah. It's one thing to see the date and the manufacturer, but what I can see here is stacks and stacks of spider web. There's going to be juvenile redbacks and goodness knows what else in amongst this here. Maybe I want to know about it, but maybe I don't. But now I've got a bit of a fear about what's going on there because I saw them fighting stuff. It's a very spectacular toy. It is sad to see it just out in the rubbish piles, but I think it's seen a bit of sunlight. It's well detailed in the cab there. And when you look at this thing, it looks just like a real cement truck. It's wonderful. I've actually got my son with me, and he's actually very, very, very impressed with this toy, but we're not going to pick it up because of the spiders. Before I leave this, you know, of course, cement mixers mix the cement, but do you understand how the cement actually goes uphill to be delivered at the work site? And when I was a kid, I was always fascinated by this end of the cement mixer. It's a very clever design. You can sort of see it inside here, I hope. I've got my son spinning the toy. There's actually a corkscrew inside there, and if you spin it in the right direction, it will deliver things uphill to the back of the truck. Quite amazing. And hopefully, if my son keeps spinning, it will have things being delivered out the back of this cement mixer toy. Yes, I hope there's no spiders coming out. Wonderful toy, fully featured, and looks fantastic. Yes, my son is very, very impressed with it. Well, it looks like the cement mixer's been driven away. It is not coming home with us. It's got too many spiders on there. Let's take a look at this Tonka truck right here. These sorts of trucks are a very common thing to see on the rubbish piles. I can see a little bit of web there. I can almost guarantee this is going to be, you know, spider haven underneath here. Oh yeah, that's spider heaven. So you have to be quite vigilant with those types of toys outside. Let's take a quick look at this one here, and it'll probably present with spiders as well. It's had a bit of play. Unfortunately, the later Tonka stuff, it's got rust there. There's just too much plastic fantastic these days with Tonka toys. They're very light gauge metal I've got in them. Let me just turn this one over and let's see who's living underneath. This one presents with perfect spider homes in there. I can see spider web there underneath there, and also if I traverse up the back here, more dangy spider web, yeah. So I'll turn that back over, and what will happen is these toys are too nice looking. Well, maybe, yeah, someone will pick this up because it is too nice looking, and they'll probably pick this one up as well. But will they understand that they're picking up, well, basically spider nests? I know for an absolute fact that that toy there will be picked up by someone, but let's hope they understand what's living underneath. And like a good boy, I put them back in the way that I found them on the side of the road. I'm just going to do this insert piece to the rubbish video. Hey, look, I found that cement mixer. This is it brand new in store. It's still available. And crikey, when you look at it brand new, wow, it is a very, very awesome looking toy. Let's take a look at the price. There's a price there. My crikey is $126.50. That's Australian dollars. Just to think we find a toy like that out in the rubbish piles. So just take a look at the back of the box. Awesome, awesome toy, I can tell you. Okay, it just shows you all the other wondrous toys available in that selection. The cement mixing truck is awesome, but it's the truck that's next to it that's caught my eye. Look at that crane there, that looks utterly awesome. I do love a neat pile of rubbish on the side of the road, and this has got some clangers, which are the things you often see getting thrown out. There is an office chair that everyone seems to have at home now. In fact, there's a bonus here. There is a black cicada here. It's that time of year, you see. It's the summer put out. A rubbish, a red-eyed black cicada. I'll just look after that for a little bit. And looking around here, that looks like rubbish to me. There's a bit of, well, there's something good. Why would you throw that out? I'm taking that home. You can call me or whatever, I'm taking it home. You know, a door. It's a real mixed bag. Hey, there's a barbecue. Fancy that. One of the very, very common things I see out in the rubbish piles. Looks like a bit of wall. A little bit of that. A shelving system, but not as nice as the other shelving system I saw earlier on, hopefully in the video, and that got picked up very, very fast. Oops. I might have given the game away there. You want some shoes? Lovely mixed assortment of shoes there. Just a bit of boot polish and they'd come up like new. Clotheslines, hey? Yes, what else is here? Actually, there's someone pulling up beside this to take a look at this as well, so I better get out of here. There's a toy down there. Looks like a bit of a cheap and nasty one. A bit of this and a bit of that. A little bit of old luggage. Let's hope they haven't left their name and everything on there. Oops. Don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. Never leave your name on things like this person has. And a nice handbag to finish it off. That's a nice, useful pickup. I think it's stainless steel, but it's not what I really classify as stainless steel, because real stainless steel doesn't get rust marks and things like the stainless steel of today. Another beautiful pile of rubbish, and you do wonder what is going to evolve from here. Oh my crikeys, oh my goodness! I believe that's a Dyson! It is a very rare treat to see a Dyson on the rubbish piles. It's a DC25, so I think that's going back a fair bit in the Dyson history. Let me just grab this. I hope there's no spiders on it. Let's take a little look at this one. Oh, that's if I don't drop it. This vacuum cleaner certainly looks like it's done a bit of work in its life. I haven't worked out its year date yet. You can see scuff marks on there. Dyson were the first people to introduce a see-through dust collection area. There's a Dyson fact for you. There it is there, DC25. It's still got its electrical cable. It's still got some of its little bits and bobs there, which is very nice. Yes, maybe if I look underneath, I might work out a date, or maybe I won't. Whoa! Yes, well, Mr. Dyson, well, he's always liked balls in design. He had a wheelbarrow that had a ball as well. I wonder if it's one of the first ones that used a ball. I can see hair and stuff caught up in the brush there. I'm just trying to find where a date would be. I'm not really familiar with this model. I'll keep looking around. At the moment, I'm feeling a bit lost in where to look on this. That'd be the empty the dust bin out, I dare say. Yes, oh, actually, there it is there. Let's take a look at this here. I just had a read on a number of web pages, but because it's near Christmas, all I'm getting is ads for vacuum cleaners I don't want to know about. Taking a look here, I'm not that good at reading and working out what that really tells me. I dare say ask the audience, they always seem to know, don't they? It's a Dyson that had one of those filters that you washed out with water to make it fresh again. And also read here, is it Radix Cyclone Technology? That's the thing that Hoover had the opportunity to get into, but oh well, they balked at it, didn't they? And the rest is history. A very nice and very rare find in the rubbish piles. I could find hundreds upon hundreds of rubbish vacuum cleaners, but rarely do I find a nice Dyson like this. It also had the feature here where you can pull up this part here, pull this out, and there's like another suction hose. You can go sucking up something else. It's all very, very, very nice. Oh, quite an amazing pile of rubbish here before people have picked through it, and I like to get to them before people have picked through it. There's a whole bunch of computer accessories here. You know, things to power stuff up with. I think people go through that to get the copper wiring. In fact, the more I look here, I can see wiring wrapped around things. People will come along and pick off the copper. Okay, books over there, an old spritzer as I call it there, old bits of hardware, an old saw, bits from a pool, old tubs and things, a computer keyboard sneaking in there. Okay, I don't know what that cabinet is there. It's metallic. It might have been some sort of, I don't know, office equipment. Halogen work lights, my crikeys, and these don't look that used. Yes, well, these destroy the planet, apparently. I used to have a lot of those and I got rid of them. I've now got LEDs, but all they seem to do is strobe out my videos, so maybe someone can explain it to me. Oh, some more bits of hardware here. Look at that there, nice long measuring tape. Pillow, something to help people on the toilet who are a bit elderly. Crikey's an old Zoom 25 petrol tin here. Let's bring back memories from a bygone era. And down here, that would be worth cash here. This is all copper wiring. It's got weight to it, and there's more there. It's the older style wiring from homes and things, and that's the sort of stuff that will go bang. It'll be picked up really fast. Some pots and stuff there. In fact, there's electrical stuff all through this pile of rubbish. And we can finish off with a couple of wonderful water pistols. Yeah, I'm sure the copper wiring there will be gone in a flash. Okay, and there's all sorts of other things here that will be picked through and reused and recycled. Yes, it's that time of year, and it's also the time of year to throw out a vacuum cleaner. I'm always fascinated by these things on the rubbish piles. This one is a Vax there. It had a 3-year warranty. It says Vax there. Again, it says constant powerful suction, compact with large capacity. Okay, yes. I'm looking over here. It's still got its power cord there. Let's take a look at that thing there. Okay, Vax and all the other are sort of blah blah. I'm looking for a year of manufacture. What's sticking out to me is made in China. I'm hoping someone in my audience can work out the year of this one. It's 2018, the year that this one was thrown out. I'm just gonna quickly look at this area here that looks a little bit Dyson-y. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I can't talk with that, can I? It might help if I read the constructions here. It's also talking about washing the filter in this cleaner. I haven't got a hope in Haiti in talking about the vacuum cleaner while I have a fire engine going by. With many a siren around me, must be another plane crash in the suburb. I'm just trying to work out how to get into this thing here. There's more sirens coming, so maybe I need to read the constructions again. Okay, well that was obviously a police car. I'm still struggling here like a goose, and I think I've got another major interruption about to hit me. Well, I better talk here because I get stung out by a copyright infringement. Because Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is playing on that Santa vehicle. Go on, you Santa. Thank you. Merry Christmas as well. I'm trying to make a video. Quiet. After multiple disruptions of all sorts, you twist this part here to get to the filter, and maybe this is going to tell us whether this is as good as a Dyson or not. Hey, what do you think? That looks crummy, dirty. It looks like it's never been cleaned. And there's these cones here, but is that the same technology as Dyson, or is that just someone trying to fake it, hey? I think there's a lot of quite strange faking going on. I'll try and get this back together. After what was some substantial stuffing around, I've got this back together. I think this would lose suction. Unlike the modern Dysons, I think that just gets clogged up. And yet people buy things like this thinking they get something like a Dyson, but I don't think it's ever like that. That's something I often see, people picking through the rubbish, finding little gems of gold and stuff. Yes, often there is marvellous things in these rubbish piles. Yes, another beautiful pile of rubbish here, a whole stack of timber there, but who knows, there might be a rare and hidden gem in amongst all this. Maybe that's one of those things right there. Okay, this is quite the find, I can tell you, quite the find. This toy here, it's a Transformers toy. This was not a cheap toy, and it was only recently it was in the shops. So this is, you know, not that old. Again, when we don't have a charity shop in the suburb, this is what goes on all the time. This is a stunning toy, actually. Lots of play features here. At the moment, I just can't remember its name. I'm sure the audience will remind me. Yes, beautiful toy, definitely Transformers. I might be taking that one home. That, to me, has too much goodness left in it. Beautiful find, and there's other things here as well, which are, I think, things from a bit of a bygone era. There's, I think these are PlayStation games of what era? I can only tell you when I look at the packaging. There we go. What a clanger! What a clanger! Space Invaders. Wow, that's a find, isn't it? And that was, of course, PlayStation 2, and there's other games here. Oh yeah, Lego Indiana Jones. Well, yeah, well, what else am I going to find? I'm starting to get excited. I mean, were these good games or were these bad games? Okay. Hot Wheels, stunt track things. You know, I think these have all been like rebooted over the many different variants of PlayStation. Oh yeah, PlayStation 2, Spider-Man 3. Yeah. Oh yes, oh my goodness me. Okay, a bit of that. I don't think we want to see any more, do we? Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, Wall-E! Yeah, what a great film, eh? Was it a good game or was it rubbish? I mean, please tell me. There's also one of these, and I think these are really being killed off by the apps in a sense. It's one of these leapfrog learning devices. I think it must have a book in there as well. Yes, we had one of these, and I think you can pull the pen here, and you're meant to touch the book and blah blah blah. It had the cartridge here. What cartridge is that? Something the Leap and Lost Dinosaur, is it? I think the lesson we learned from devices like this is just go and buy a real book. It's that simple. And I do put things back tidily. Once I looked at them, I don't spread them out all over the ground. I also notice here, I dare say that is a PlayStation 2 console. I hope I'm correct there. Yeah, so if you were very lucky, come along here, possibly still works. You can pick up the console plus a whole bag of games. I'm moving along. Next to the bags there was a box here, and it's got a little bit of toy gold in it as well. I can see a car like that. I think it was Toy State. Yeah, I think it's more of a generic type toy. That can stay here. Oh, crikey, Charlie's. Look at this. Yeah, more Transformers gold. That is amazing. I think it's missing part of its arm there. But nevertheless, or maybe if I look down in the box, I'll find the other part. That is a wonderful, wonderful find. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to find that Transformers arm. Oh, there's actually something I know what this is. Now I'm going to grab this. That is the pod from the new version of Thunderbird 2. Okay, that is definitely a keeper. I wonder if there's a Thunderbird 4 down there. Yeah, that's for me as well. I'm really going to the depths of this box here. And oh, what's this one here? Oh, yeah. Another little Transformers toy, Optimus Prime. Woo! And actually, I can see something else in here which is worth a fair bit of money. You may laugh at me. I can see it. I wonder if you can see it. This is one of these Coles Little Shop Minis. These are basically worth $30, highly collectible. And there you go, out in the rubbish pile. So what's that telling you about the Coles collectible little minis, hey? One day they're worth 30 bucks. The next day, guess what? They're on the rubbish piles. I don't normally do this. I am going to empty this box out. I'm quite curious to find more of those Coles minis, if they're in here. I can see clearer now. I'm looking for that Transformers arm as well. Yes, I found another Coles collectible mini there. I know you're going to laugh at me. Yes, they are actually worth a bit of dough. That's a nice one to keep. Yep, put in the pile. I'll tell you what, it's really a mixed bag here. There's some toys here I recognise. That was the one, the Nerf cars. They had like a foam car that you launched. And I remember my son begged for that, and I said, don't get it, just go and get the Nerf gun and the normal Nerf darts. Don't go for that sideline stuff. Luckily, he did listen to what I said. I think that's part of the Transformers thing as well, I think. Just trying to find some more gold here. Maybe I really got to put the phone camera down and concentrate a bit more, eh? Another little Transformers toy right here. I hope I'm correct in saying that. It certainly looks like it to me. No, the bits that I really want to see, sadly I'm not really seeing it. Just remove a bit more of the stuff here. What I did find was a Lego minifigure. There's actually other bits of Lego in this as well. I'm trying to find the head, but I may not be that lucky. There's a Hot Wheels car there. Okay, there's more Lego there. Wow, there's really quite a variety of things going on here. There's another piece of Lego right there. Whew. And I'll pick each of these up because these are basically worth 20 cents. Believe it or not, yes, in fact there's multiple bricks there. That's 20, 40, 60 cents worth of Lego in my fingers there. And I can see, well, another 40 cents worth of Lego. Yeah, it just keeps coming, doesn't it? Another quite curious pile of lovely rubbish which has been put out here. I can see a widescreen TV. Sonic is its brand name. Yes, I think we're going to see many more of these on the rubbish piles. I can see a DVD player or something there, but what caught my eye was this very large crane. I think these were for sale in Toys R Us from memory. It is just massive. It's one of these toys, it's almost like it's too big. It's like standing up about 5 feet tall. Okay, and curiously it's still got part of its packaging on there, on that arm there. My crikey's, I wonder if it all still works. It's not, well, it's sort of fake over remote control. It's got a controller like that. Oh, it does work. Look at that. Yeah, because I've just sort of semi-disassembled it. Wow, that's amazing. See, there you go, fully functional toy crane out in the rubbish piles, yeah. Oh, another smaller pile of rubbish, but there's a few things here that I want to talk about. Microwave ovens, a very common thing that I see thrown out. Oh, crikey, there's a bonus here. Yeah, oh, it's just taken off. That was a cicada. And that was a shell. Well, that's where it came up last night. It is amazing. That's the brand there. It is there. I'm not sure whether you'll pick off the ear by seeing that. What I can read here, and I'm not surprised, made in China. And what you should do is when you're buying these appliances, write the month and the year in Texter or Sharpie or whatever. And then when the thing carks it, you got an idea how long it lasted. There is the new scourge of the rubbish pile, and it's those two items there. I just carefully moved this spider-infested antenna to the side. And yes, upright fans. I don't know whether Dyson, whether people have really got people into this. These things tend to be cheap. I don't think, they can sometimes be noisy, they can sometimes be fairly inefficient. Maybe you can have your say about these, but I see now so many of these out in the rubbish pile. This is a Sunbeam one. Of course it's going to be made in China. Okay, and there's another one here. You know, you really do wonder why this stuff gets thrown out. This one here, it's a bit of a different brand. Let's take a look at this. I'm not familiar with that branding at all. I can see made in China. No surprise there. One thing about these types of appliances, they're very obvious when they're thrown out in the rubbish pile. They're a peculiar shape, and I think they're going to be like the new, well, office chair, barbecues, microwave ovens. The most common things that I keep seeing being thrown out is going to be fans like those ones right there. Oh my crikeys, my goodness. Oh, this is going to be a beauty. Well, first off, there are the little Tykes vehicles. One of them looks pretty good, that one there, and the other one looks, well, a little bit sun faded. There's still plenty of play left in these. Very nice, and so often I see these vehicles on the rubbish piles. Maybe a problem I can see here, I can see spiderific action because I've got spider eyes, haven't I? If I look under here, goodness knows what I'm going to find. Or is it going to be nice and clean? No, there's spiderific action. There's sadly anything left out in the garden in Australia can become basically a spider nest. I'll make an absolute prediction. Both these vehicles will be picked up and they'll be repurposed and loved. But I tell you what, there's something here that I'm going to love. And I'm going to pick up, yeah. Oops, nearly fell off the gutter then. Look at this here. Oh yeah, classic Thomas the Tank picture there. Absolute classic. That is a clanger. It's very glary in the sun here. It's very noisy because of the cicadas. But one thing about that picture there, look at that. It's the good old steam team. The thing you just don't see today with Thomas and friends. They're trying to kill the steam team. But we're going to make sure it stays, aren't we? And this one for me is definitely a keeper. You! Another pile of rubbish, and I like finding the unusual, and this is what I classify the unusual. I believe this is a potter's wheel. So you put your clay there, it'd be powered by electric motor underneath, and this thing spins like all fury and you mould your bit of clay to whatever. Yeah, nice find, eh? Nice. And that's more proof that you find literally anything on these wondrous rubbish piles. Looks like that person has picked up something wondrous from the rubbish piles. Oh, here's something I don't see too often in the rubbish piles. It's one of those cat towers that your pussy cat can climb up. It's actually quite a tall one. It goes up to about 5.5 feet. I'm reaching up to see the top of that one. Yeah, that's a bit of a strange one. Something I don't often see. Sometimes you see a pile of rubbish and a couple of things may catch your eye. Well, there's one thing there catching my eye more than the other. Very clever children's crash helmet there. It's got Spider-Man splayed on the top there. Looks great. I found this really cool semi-painted pot plant thing, but what's inside is the gold. Yay, Nerf gun. Were they a good one or was that a bad one? I think I like the ones that didn't try to do fancy shooting styles like that there. Oh, anyway, it's on the pile. Another pile of rubbish, and one thing in particular that I often see on the rubbish piles are these things here. They are steam mops. I think they're a total waste of time. I'm constantly seeing these thrown out. This is one from Aldi. It's Illumina Signature Series 1. So often do I see these getting thrown out. Nothing but trash. Just seen something rather disturbing. Again, look at these office chairs. Got to get them separated or else trouble starts. Okay, yeah, that's better. If they get together for too long, they start to breed up in big numbers. I'm now walking in the area where I call the rich people live down this way. You'll find different things sometimes thrown out. And up here, I think it's one of those, well, gas heaters that, well, sometimes they tend not to last that long. Well, I think it's that Faco stainless steel. Crikey, this thing weighs a bit as well. That would be the part where the gas bottle is. It's a fancy one because it's also got a table on it. So if you're eating your dinner or doing something there, and that up there is the part that emanates the heat. The brand is Gasmate, and I'm just looking along here, see if I can see some sort of year date or something that tells me how old or young this is. If I can get to the regulator, sometimes that will tell me something. I hope there's no redback spideys in there. I think the easy thing to do is to just unscrew it here and I'll see some dates, I hope. Okay, I'm reading this here, that's a bit of safety blah blah I think. And then on the other side of this here, it says here, well, I'm not surprised by that, China. Okay, down here, model T3, and down by my thumb, I think it's 13-11. But does the regulator mean anything back to the date of the actual heater? And maybe the scrap metal people will come and pick this up, but this is actually a bit of a scourge of the rubbish piles. I quite often see these types of patio heaters getting picked up. I'm still in Richie Rich area. They get parks that are called reserves. If you're the poor people, you just get a park, you don't get a reserve. And here is something on the rubbish pile here. It is a microwave oven, no surprise there. And it has had the whatever they take from the inside of those taken out, no surprise there. Mind you, I think you're really playing with the devil there because there's capacitors in these things and it's really dangerous playing inside microwave ovens. So if you think you're going to get something valuable in there, you might get a great big valuable electric shock as well. Yes, the people down here do lovely Christmas displays, amazing light displays, or they can afford the electricity. Over here I can see something quite swanky. It's like a little mini bike, looks awesome. Okay, I'm up nice and close to this wondrous machine. It would be something maybe for a larger child. When I say that, someone who's maybe 8 years old, 10 years old, is actually quite large. If I maybe put my hand on it, you'll get some scale of this thing. I dare say it's battery powered. I can see spider web there, but I'm not surprised. I saw one of these, I think on the last rubbish pile pickups that I did. Yeah, it's got solid tyres. Yes, we'll put it this way, I don't think it'd be that cheap to buy. Just off the back here, I'm seeing how much wear and tear this has had, and often if you look at tyres or on cars, look at the brake pedal, you can tell how things have been hammered. Looks like it's been used. I noticed it's also still got trainer wheels on there, a couple of fake exhausts, and if I peek under there, spider web. It's a nice thing. In this part of the suburb, it's actually very quiet. You could have run around on this down here quite safely. It's got a bit of a fake dialage there in a sense, you know, a couple of things to turn it on and everything. Maybe that would have been the accelerator. You can see if your dad's chasing you by looking in the mirror there. It's not bad. I don't mind it at all. But right beside here, yes, one of the major scourges of the rubbish pile, 3 wondrous office chairs. And I'll back away from that one and we'll go and look at something else. I'm just going to look at the gutter here for a while, and there's something here because I've got spider eyes. This here is a redback spider nest. This is the perfect zone for it. Nice and warm here. It's recluse as well. It's the right time of year, and that is classic. Oh, I just saw a spider scurry. Then other spiders will hang around here as well. Maybe there's an egg sac here or something, or maybe I don't really want to know. Yes, that classic redback spider. A great big sofa here, a lovely sort of racing style office chair. Notice the office chairs down in the ritzy part of town are more ritzy. Yes, these scourge, the garbage piles, this one. And here's another scourge of the garbage piles, barbecues. Whether this is a cheap model or a quite expensive one. Ranger, it says there. It looks like it's had a fair bit of use, but as for its age, who knows? Okay, yes, it's looking quite mucky in there. Must have been many a good barbecue on that one, yeah. Nice knobs on this. I think this would be more of a ritzy barbecue. Sometimes there's free gifts in here. Oh, look at that. You beauty. I can pick up some trays. And down there, oh, I can pick up some yucky trays as well. Some more Christmassy stuff here. Rather nice. Would be much nicer at night. And there's some more Christmassy stuff. I am getting distracted. Wow, Santa's toy shop, wonderful. I can't help myself. There's another pile of rubbish here. There's actually some old furniture there. And I'm thinking the wording Walton's there has to do with an old department store. Some nice blue sofa chairs there. Just a whole bunch of what would be smelly sort of carpet because we've had a bit of rain. Something quite curious here. Wow, it's like the control panel from the space shuttle. Look at that there, air conditioning line. Who knows what that is? It looks wonderful. I mean, switches like that. Voltmeter, ammeter, and right, surely that's worth something. Surely. There's also another one here. Very interesting, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, very, very nice. And I don't know, I can see value in that, but whether anyone else can, I really don't know. The YouTuber Aussie50 would key into this. It's the sort of thing he'd look at and he'd tear apart and he'd explain how it works. Generator, I think, off and sure. Maybe that's a clue to what all that is about. I'm sure my audience knows much more than me. Just looking at that furniture, there was nothing special that came out of Walton's. I also see here, there we go, there, Walton's Hornsby. And there's the old telephone number. So yeah, ring it up and just see who you're going to get, hey? While I'm down in Richie Rich zone, I noticed that house was for sale. It looks rather nice. And there is the for sale sign there. Housing market's starting to capitulate a bit. Dicey time to sell, I can tell you. It's sort of interesting. Well, it's very hard to get money from the banks now. And a lot of those overseas buyers, well, they're not buying anymore. Ooh, and then interest rates go up. Oh my crikeys. There, it's a vacuum cleaner. Okay, it's actually a good brand vacuum cleaner. Miele, cat and dog. It's funny, I think I've seen these before. I think that was like your power slide there. Yes, Miele's are good. Okay, Miele's, they feel good. The hose doesn't feel like rubbish. You know, that's what you get when you buy the good stuff. And I think it's a bit of an older-fashioned thing because I think it might have had a bag or something in there. There's its attachments and all there. How do I get the rest of this open? There we go. Oh, yeah, it had a bag, and I think that Dyson sort of well, blew away the idea of having bags, didn't they, hey? It's very nice. It's all here, in a sense. I wonder if it's still got its power cord. Just spun around. Hey, look at this here. It's still got its power cord. Look at that there. Yoo-hoo! And then to get it back, you just press that there. Yeah. That's the info on the Miele there. I can't work out a date, but what I do like to see there is made in Germany. It's either Miele or Dyson, and there'll be arguments about which brand is better. Some people will say Miele is the best thing you're ever going to get, and other people will argue that Dyson is the best thing you'll ever get. The trucks that pick up the rubbish are coming down this road here, and look what I see here. It's more of those heaters, man oh man. These are like, well, another scourge of the rubbish pile. There's actually two here. There's a base of another one there. And I think what fails on these is the mantle up here that creates the flame. I think this is the problem with these. All too often I see these out in the rubbish pile. Sometimes the scrap metal people will pick them up, and the top of the other one is actually up here. It's one of those fancy ones again. There's the other one there. It's one which had the table on it as well. I don't know whether we'll learn anything by looking at this here. Often dates and things are very well hidden these days. Maybe something there will tell you something about its age. There's actually something in there that I saw I think is worthwhile taking a look at, because this is like the perfect environment if you want to breed these things. Very carefully open this up. Oh my crikey Charlies, it's a redback spider nest, egg sacs and the lot. Woo! Okay, let's start counting the egg sacs. I can see an egg sac there. There's actually one up here as well. Okay, I'm just traversing along here. The garbage truck's about to pick this up. I wonder if they realise that there's redback spiders galore in here. There's a couple of egg sacs there. There's another one there. I dare say somewhere down there is a redback spider waiting to pounce. So apart from being cheap heaters for your back patio, the perfect redback spider breeders right there. Yeah, they're the big garbage trucks that come along and pick up all the wonderful garbage. Well, here's a pile of rubbish, and there's Santa! Yeah, Santa, go, Santa, go! There's nothing more beautiful than a rubbish time and looking through the rubbish piles, and sometimes you find some absolute Dyson magic, yeah! This one's been out in a massive rainstorm. I don't know what condition it's going to be in after being in the rain. It looks like a bit of an earlier model, but hey, I'm excited to see a Dyson because you don't see many of these out in the rubbish pile. Let me just free it up of all this stuff here and we'll see what this one's about. Okay, I've done some assembly of this wonderful and beautifully coloured Dyson. I'm not sure of its number. I believe it'd be one from the earlier era of Dyson cleaners. It just says on the top there, Dyson Motorhead. Normally there's a number up this way. Wasn't that a name of a band? Yes, I think it's very much a vacuum cleaner from the earlier times of Dyson. I don't have, well, I have one like this, but I don't have one called a Motorhead. And I certainly don't have one of this wonderful purple going on. It's nice. For me, these are rare exotic finds. You're probably going to laugh at that. It's nice. I like it. I like its colour scheme. I think that was one thing. Dyson made nice looking items, and it also has its power cable, so the people that steal copper haven't got to this one yet. How do I take that back? See, it still works. Yes, in my books it's lovely. I'm getting quite a collection of these and I'm very, very proud of my Dyson collection. Don't worry, the barbecues have always been around. I've just been trying not to feature them, but here is another one of these vacuum blower items. This one's also Ryobi, but I don't think this is one that's been made in Japan. This one here doesn't look too badly used. I can see a millipede up there. So often do I see these on the rubbish pile. I wonder what goes wrong with them, but then again, maybe I think I know what goes wrong. I'm looking for signs of wear and tear. There's a bit of scuffing there. There's a bit of plastic missing there. But overall, it looks pretty bright and clean. A little bit too clean for my liking. Let's see if I can find out more about it by looking at that there. Okay, there's a lot to read there. I can see made in China, and my crikeys, is that 2017? Oh my crikeys, I'm making this video in 2018. I do wonder whether that is 2017, the year that this was made. Man, if that is the case, this is a crying shame. It's basically a 1 year unit. Let's hope I'm wrong there, okay? But mind you, it does look fairly modern. Okay, oh man. Am I surprised or am I not surprised? I'm looking for more scuff marks and wear and tear because who knows, it may have been used every day of the year. I'm trying to put a positive spin on this somehow. Yes, maybe you've had one of these and it's one of these things to ask the audience, what do you think about these electric blowers, vacuum things? What's your final thoughts on these things that I so often see in the rubbish pile? The raw beauty of an office chair on the rubbish pile, because we're near Christmas time, you throw out your old Christmas tree, but in this tub here, and I've walked by this a couple of times and I've been trying to work out what exactly is this toy here, what's it from. It has been raining, as you can see. It rained a lot actually, and I looked at this and it's got like that fleck that you see inside so many toys, and I'm thinking of Mattel toys. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I did look at this to see if there's an ID or anything, but I couldn't find it. Maybe if I assemble some of this, it might make some more sense to you. I have done some assembly. I tell you what, these are large pieces as well. Okay, now look at this piece here. To me, this looks like a bit of a road system here. It looks a little bit like Tracy Island from the Thunderbirds. And part of me is thinking maybe I can take it home and make a custom Thunderbirds Tracy Island with that. Maybe it's just best left on the rubbish pile. Maybe you can recognize what that is. It's obviously a toy thing, and these parts here, there's two of these, what would you call them, like archy sort of rock things. Okay, tunnel, sort of very short tunnel, and there's another base here which would have had another piece on top, but that seems to be missing. But all in all, it's actually quite a large, elaborate piece of toy, but I've got no idea what it's from. Like I keep saying over and over, because we've lost our charity shop and it has been a crying shame that it's gone, it was stuff like this that used to appear in a charity shop and actually would sell there because people could see a purpose for that or a reuse, but sadly these days it just ends up, guess where? On the rubbish piles. Yet another wonderful pile of mixed rubbish put out for council collection. All sorts of treasures here. Goodness knows what's inside that metal box there. probably full of redback spiders. But what I do notice here is another little drum set, but I think this is from that, I'll call it computer game. Is it Rock Band or whatever, Rock something? I don't think this is like the drum kit that I saw before. I think those colours are sort of giving it away. I think that's to do with a computer game. Looks like the hand controller clipped into this part here. Just for the life of me, I can't remember the game that's associated with that kit there. I do love a good rubbish pile in the morning. Oh yeah, this is a real clanger. There's all sorts of things here, everything, garden benches. There's a little cheap hand vac over there. I'm not interested in that in any way, and if I go along here we're going to see more and more rubbish, and really almost like a whole household of stuff. But my crikey Charlies, what I'm seeing here, and it's the first time I've seen one, it's actually a Dyson, well, hand stick vacuum. First time I've found one of these in a rubbish pile. I can see this component here, but I can't see any of the tools around. I'm just having a bit of a closer look at this one. I think this is an earlier version of this vacuum cleaner. I notice it says DC30 there, and I'll just see if it's got any zoomp in it. No, but curiously, and I did this to one of mine, it has got a non-Dyson battery there. So this is not its original battery, but that for me is a very, very curious pickup. My Dyson collection is actually getting rather large. Like I said, that's the first of the hand stick vacuums that I've ever found in the rubbish pile, and I will carefully look through here to see if I can find the other tools related to this vacuum cleaner. This pile of rubbish has been added to. It's a bit of a developing pile of rubbish. I can't find the tool pieces that I'm after that are associated with the Dyson, but what I did find, and to me this is a bit of a curious thing, because to me this looks like it's barely had any use. It's a LCD TV DVD player. Okay, and that's the DVD section there. It's a Dick Smith model. That's a retailer that no longer exists in Australia, so it'd be going back a couple of years, but I think that's a very, very curious find, and I might pick that up. Okay, this is very nice. This is old. Okay, it's Crossley brand. It's obviously a refrigerator. Okay, it is a little bit modern in a sense. It's not a latch one. The really old ones will have a latch. This has the magnetic strip in a sense that closes it up and seals it. You can just tell by looking at this. Wow, this is a gem. Great design and all. It's, well, it might be 1960s. Well, then again, I think they started to get the box design in the 1960s. It might be a little bit earlier. I'm sure my lovely audience will work this one out. Yes, it's, man, it just weighs. You can just feel the weight in it. Wow. Look at that there. It's just wonderfully made. You don't get stuff like this these days. And on the back here. Okay, we'll take a look at that, and then just going down here, that's its coil, and I can also tell it's a bit of an older style thing by this style of plug. Yes, that's very much an older style of plug. There's one plug there, very old style. Whether that's saying anything to you, please let me know. Okay, this one here is an awkward one to video. It's on its side. I can see made in Australia there, not made in China. Okay, let me get my camera on its side and see if I can see it a bit better. Very difficult to read. The main thing I can see there is made in Australia. I'm trying to see if there's a year date there. It's very hard to see the way it has been stamped. Manufactured by Kirby blah blah blah, Camperdown, New South Wales. Just amazing, you know. You just do not see that anymore, and that is the crying shame and why I make these videos. It might have been rough nuts trying to get video that I would have done it in stills, I dare say. Just amazing, and this thing will be picked up. I'm just standing up here. This is very nice. It is just classic, and it's just things you do not see anymore, and it has lasted and stood the test of time. And I can tell you what, the rubbish that comes out of China will never ever do that for you. I can guarantee it will never last like this has. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. I just had a chat to the owner of this fridge. Okay, they were curious of why I was looking at it, and they were saying, hey, do you want to pick it up? It still works. Okay, they knew it was an Australian made fridge. They're sort of saying the early 60s, and we're going to take another look at this because we want to be reminded of how good it used to be and how long has this lasted, and the fact that it still works. Okay, it's 2018, I'm making this video, and this fridge is still a goer, made in Australia, not made in frippin' China. Very, very important lesson in. That's why I want to talk about this a little bit further. And will we ever break out of that syndrome of made in China rubbish? I'm hoping that we will. Okay, let's do a bit of a rewind. Could you tell the things that would still be there when it came to rubbish collection time? How good were you at spotting the trash versus the treasure? Do you remember what was in that area there? And I told you it was going to be picked up. It was actually picked up really fast. It was that wonderful wire storage system. Gone to a better house. Do you remember what was there? Yes, it was that quite elaborate electric drum kit. Yes, it has been picked up, as I thought. Do you remember this beauty here? Well, guess what? It's still here, as I thought. Oh, do you remember what was in the black pram here? And I spoke about what was living up inside it. Yes, the yellow Tonka truck that had redback spiders in there. It's gone, so whoever picked that up has now got a redback spider nest in their hands. Do you remember this pile of rubbish? Well, those things are still there. I'm not surprised by that. But the good news is, I think it was called a Learn to Dress Ollie bear, has been picked up and is loved by someone else. Oh yeah, do you remember what was here? It was almost too good to be true. It was the Bruder Cement Mixer, quite an amazing toy. Plus those Tonka Toys, all spider infested, have been picked up. Do you remember this pile of junk here? There was actually a box in there. Do you remember what was there? It was the electronics bits and bobs. They have gone. A lot of copper in that. Do you remember what was there? And I said at the time it was going to go really fast. Well, yes it did. It was the electrical cabling that was there. It has gone. The copper cabling's gone, but I can see the water pistols. Yep, they're still here. Yay! So with the cockies screeching in the background, that is the end of the video, and we can finish on something which I think is the most important thing that we saw in the video, and it is that refrigerating unit right there. That's what we've got to go back to, and that's what these videos are all about.